Well, it's been a while since I've delved back into this game, but now I'm here again with another theory on the forest. So sit back, grab a drink, and let's jump right on in. Now there's a question that I and many others have concerning a major aspect of this lovable game. The question is simply this: where do these insanely creepy cannibal mutants come from? I could make the answer short and sweet, but that just wouldn't be any fun. Also, there really isn't much evidence to go off of, so I'll try my best to suspend your disbelief and create an interesting hypothesis. Deformed doesn't adequately describe some of these cannibals. These things are ugly beyond belief. We have Armsy, the slow but strong mutant that can easily tear down walls and towers over the player, swinging its multiple, almost vestigial arms recklessly. And don't forget Virginia. This mutant's name may come across as humorous, but let me tell you, this one does not mess around. Virginia is fast, nimble, and very dangerous. It's comprised of several legs that it uses to walk around quickly, almost spider-like. It can even jump several yards forward at incredible speeds. Lastly, there's the Cowman mutant. I haven't ran into this type very often, but I'd have to say that these are the most dangerous. Their main attack is a devastating charge that knocks down the player. This moment of vulnerability is extremely dangerous for you, especially when up against 2 or 3 of these guys. Now, before you say anything, yes, I am aware of the baby mutants. However, they don't pose any particular threat when compared to the others, but they do have a role in helping us figure out the origins of this mutant species. As always, let's state some of the obvious. Sometimes what's in plain sight can ultimately help us in the long run. So we have these mutants, and with just a quick glance at them you know that they're far from what anyone would call a human. That is true, yet strangely enough, these things are made up of the non-deformed cannibals, which look very similar to humans. While their outside appearance may look distorted, what's important is their mind. Despite their hideous looks, they're actually fairly clever. Once the mutants have discovered you, they can track you down and find your base of operations. They're smart enough to realize that without your shelter, you're practically defenseless, and they proceed to tear it down. Another thing to note is that they are very angry-natured creatures, attacking anything that is in their way, and there is indeed an answer for why they behave in this manner. What I've managed to come up with is that long ago the island was inhabited by a foreign tribe that was indeed human. The island was unfortunately struck by a giant meteor that created the huge sinkhole near the center of the forest. This meteor must have emitted some form of radiation poisoning that nearly killed all of the tribe. Those who survived tried to escape death by seeking shelter underground to avoid the nuclear fallout. Unfortunately, this poison seeped down into the earth and affected the water that flows through. The remaining survivors must have adapted to living down in the caves, since the above surface was just too dangerous to live on. Many years later, due to breeding this poison from generation to generation, and drinking the contaminated water, extreme physical and mental changes were made to the tribe, growing multiple arms and legs, or having an odd increase in size and stature, and their offspring became more and more misshapen as time passed. Others weren't affected as severely, creating the more normal-looking cannibals. Oh, and by the way, since I haven't mentioned it yet, these guys were turned cannibalistic due to not having any food to eat while living in the caves, if you couldn't guess that for yourself. Another idea that comes to mind is that there could have been some sort of science experiment that took place on the island. A group of scientists may have wanted to test their genetic experiments on humans, but due to ethical reasons were not allowed to follow through. Without anyone's permission, they traveled to the island that we all know and love and started experimenting with the local tribe. Little did they know that they were creating monsters ready to shred apart anyone and anything in their path. The scientists were either killed or fled the island in fear, and since their deadly experiments were secluded on an island, swore not to tell anyone of the incident. Lastly, I have to say that Endnight Games has done an amazing job creating these mutants. Each of them are very unique in design and behavior. I think it's safe to say that they'll go down in history as one of video gaming's most memorable enemies. Nothing sends a chill down your spine more than knowing that you're all alone in the middle of a dense forest with some unknown and terrifying creatures attempting to hunt you down and ultimately kill you. So there you have it. As always, comment whether you approve of my theory or just plain despise it. Thanks for watching, and I've been VirageQuit, signing out.